Welcome to our demonstration of VMware Virtual SAN and OpenStack Framework integration. In this demonstration, we will see how to integrate VMware Virtual SAN appliance with OpenStack Framework by deploying a single instance of vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance as the OpenStack Cloud Controller onto a vSphere 5.5 cluster, and how to deploy OpenStack Virtual Machine instances onto the Virtual SAN storage resource. Virtual SAN is VMware's new storage solution that is fully integrated with vSphere 5.5. It creates a complete shared storage solution that can be readily provisioned to provide high availability and scale-out storage functionality, and assists in maintaining quality of service by improving virtual machine performance and availability. The vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance, VOVA, is a proof-of-concept appliance designed to provide quick hands-on experience to OpenStack services for vSphere administrators. Note, the current version of VMware Virtual SAN is a public beta version, and the vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance is not an official VMware product, but only a proof-of-concept appliance for which VMware does not provide any official technical support. Let's start the demonstration. Log into the vSphere web client. The first step is deploying the vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance onto a vSphere 5.5 cluster where Virtual SAN is enabled. Navigate to Hosts and Clusters. Right-click on the Virtual SAN cluster's name and select Deploy OVF Template. Specify the source from which vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance will be uploaded. The source could be locally available or remotely located and accessible via a URL, like the one used here. Specify a name for the appliance, we use VOVA, and a location where the appliance will be deployed, which in this example is SDDC Data Center. Select the virtual disk format and a location to store the virtual appliance's files. Provide the network configuration settings based on the available vSphere port groups. Network 1, VM network, is the network segment where VOVA and all of its OpenStack Nova services and drivers communicate with the vCenter server and ESXi hosts. Network 2, BR100 network, is the network over which the virtual machine instances will communicate. Note, it is recommended to configure vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance with a static IP, but for the purpose of this demo, we will use DHCP to automatically assign the IP address for the VM network. Next, provide all the information required by the OpenStack Nova driver. Enter the IP address of the vCenter server managing the resources that will be used by the vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance. Enter the root user credentials, name of the vCenter data center, SDDC, name of the cluster, vSAN, and the data store to be used, vSAN Data Store. And finally, specify the management network's static IP information if required. Review the information and choose to power on the appliance after deployment and click Finish. Once the appliance deployment has completed, note the IP address from the Appliance Summary tab in the vSphere web client. Before accessing the OpenStack portal, enable the firewall on every ESXi node in the OpenStack cluster to allow VNC connections on port range 5900 to 6000. The easiest way to do this in a non-production environment is by just enabling the GDB server firewall rule, since this opens everything VNC needs. Once completed, access the OpenStack portal from another browser window. Log into the OpenStack portal and deploy an OpenStack virtual machine instance from the OpenStack portal onto vSphere. Go to Instances, and then click on Launch Instance. Provide the instance name, we use WebAppDB, and specify the instance count, which we set to be 6. And then choose the instance boot source. Here we will set the instance to boot from an image. Choose the image name, Debian SO Linux image registered in the vSphere OpenStack appliance, and click Launch. The virtual machines deployed onto Virtual SAN-enabled cluster will now automatically inherit the Virtual SAN default storage policy design to support a single object failure, such as host, disk, network, or storage object failure, which is an availability factor of n+1. Once instance provisioning is complete, navigate back to the vSphere web client, select the virtual machine instance, and go to the Manage tab. Select Hard Disk 1 under VM Storage Policies, and verify that the mirror copy, which is named RAID 1 of the disk, exists on another node in the cluster, along with a witness to be used in the event of an object failure. This availability capability of the vSphere Storage Policy Base Management Framework is built into Virtual SAN and can be leveraged by any OpenStack virtual machine instance deployed onto a vSAN data store. This concludes the demonstration of VMware vSphere and OpenStack framework integration. For more details and documentations about VMware Virtual SAN and the vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance, please visit the VMware Virtual SAN Beta community page and vSphere OpenStack Virtual Appliance community page. Thank you.